Yes, I'm Bruktawit Tigabu. I co-create High Labs Learning in the other used television series called Involve Me or Asatfui. So let me just tell you a little bit. This way. The beginning. How does it start? So I was a school teacher about 6 years ago, and I met my husband when I was teaching, and we were, we quit our jobs, and we said, after we got married, we said what we want to do in our life. And we decided that we want to do a children's show for Ethiopia, a puppet show in Amharic for Ethiopian children, with the vision that motivates millions of kids to love to read, to go to school, to protect themselves from preventable disease and things like that, to empower children. And we have that huge vision, but we didn't know what we were getting into. So it wasn't quite simple as we thought. We had this small flat. We didn't have even furniture and things like that. So we turned our living room to the studio, and we started working and living for about 2 years. And before about that time, we gave birth to our first child, Tsahai. Actually, my husband and I, about 2.5 years ago, we gave birth to a real child called Justice, and we realized actually a real child is much fun and less work. Tsahai it's not that fun to make Tsahai. But when Tsahai was created, and within that 2 years, we ran out of money, and we didn't have literally to live. So our sister-in-law actually and her husband rescued us, and we used to live with them so that we don't worry about food and rent and things like that, and till we get Tsahai to the children on the TV. And we managed to do that. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy process. This is just few things we went through. But what was a striking thing for me was while we were in this process, making different puppets, experimenting and things like that, doing research, my parents and my friends they think we were crazy. They think we're out of our mind, just playing with puppets all day long for like almost 3 years and doing nothing with our life. So how could you tell your vision? Actually, our sock puppet will motivate millions of children and blah, blah for your parents. That's not, acceptable for them. They want to see something, they can relate to. So anyway, only one friend came to confront me. She's a type of girl, she likes to get her first degree on this, second degree on that, and third degree on something else. So she's like, I don't understand. What are you doing in your life? Why don't you use this opportunity? As you figure my husband is American. So go to US and get your university degree and, educate yourself. What are you doing with your life? And I didn't know how to explain, but I asked her a question back. I said, what is the purpose of education? And that was a aha moment for me, and I'll tell you why. Why do we get education? Most people say that because we want to be successful later in life. And I agree to that in some degree. But that success, or the definition of success, has a problem because people have different way of explaining that. And one opinion about defining success, widely accepted, is by making a lot of money. And my experience about education is, unfortunately, has come to that definition. So most, like an institution, you might see that they think they are there for the students to make them successful. And that again is defined by making a lot of money. Or you might hear a professor saying, you better pay attention to this because you can earn a lot of salary if you master this, or things like that. But there has to be a better answer than, for the deeper question, like, why am I in this world? Or why does my life has a, meaning? So I think the purpose of education is not to make a lot of money. As you can see, it doesn't balance. I think the purpose of, as a society, we need to shift our thinking of the purpose of education to something simple, which I believe is service. Service is the very purpose of education. We educate ourselves so that we can serve humanity. We can be better on serving humanity. And service is the best way to measure success. We need to begin to teach our children how to educate themselves so that they can, get the better education as much as they can get, so that they can serve their community in the best ability they can do. We need to begin. I'll tell you what. We need to begin measure success in a way how we can give service to community. We should say, for example, oh, he's so successful. He's been teaching third graders for the last 10 years in the same school. And every single student remember him and the impact he had in their life. Wouldn't be that awesome? Done a lot of money? I think service is also a key for a child's success in a school. Think about it. If you tell a 9-year-old child, look, I want you to grow up, okay? I want you to go to school, but do well in science and maths so that when you grow up, you can make a lot of money. The child wouldn't understand. He would look at you like this. He would be like, he just doesn't understand what you're trying to say because kids know, if you tell a child happiness comes from money, that's not something understandable for them because kids know where happiness comes from. Happiness comes from when your parents give you a big hug, or when you sit with them and read them a book, or when their friends come and stay to their house. That is what's happiness for them. So now let's tell your child, look, I want you to do well in school. I want you to master your maths and English or in science so that when you grow up, you can help a lot of people and make a lot of people happy. That a child can understand. That will motivate a child to do well in school. It's probably true that I could make a lot more money that I have doing, something else with my life than making a puppet show in Ethiopia. But nothing makes you work harder for your business when you know your business matters, your business changing life, and your business really making people happy. So service is a key for sustainable growth, economic growth as well. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll explain that in 2 words. Brain drain. Think about all the Ethiopians who left Ethiopia and went to Europe and America and got their great education, start making money, but never come back. Now, imagine if all those people came back to Ethiopia and start serving Ethiopia. Imagine how many more doctors would we have, how many more engineers would we have, and most importantly, how many more teachers would we have who can share what all they learn. It's quite difficult because we keep thinking that money will end poverty, but that's not true because we've seen a lot of aid community pouring money, millions of dollars, and it's not ending. And you've seen a lot of friends in America sending money to their families, and poverty is not ending because education is the key. It's not helping us sending money, coming back to the community and educating it. So education is the key for development. Education is the key, for ending poverty. And service, with an attitude of service, is the key for education. This is not actually a new thing I'm telling you. I think this is something that is deep within Ethiopian culture. People in the village of Ethiopia, they don't really think about themselves all the time. They think about what's best for their village, what's best for their community.
2 weeks ago, I was down into Mursi to shoot some documentary because I have some few friends from that tribe. And whenever I try to do anything, literally, even interviewing people, the community has to discuss it. If that is the best interest for their villagers. It's not about my friend who I have, known to know so I can go there and do whatever I want. It's about the community. It's about what is best for their villagers. So I think the problem is when we get this modern or civilization and start losing our values. So I would suggest, or I would wish, that we accept, the modern civilization, such as like great education, but also keep our values, like, considering ourselves as part of a community and, with obligation to serve that community. And serving that community and making sure, things are better for the future. So let's start from the beginning to the children. Let's instill in the children's mind the love for service, the desire to serve others, so that the children can go to school or desire getting an education and knowledge so that they can serve their community better. I believe in children. I believe in the future of, I see the future in children, and that's glorious future. But we need to teach our children to serve others, and that's the key, I think. And I envision one day that no Ethiopian will leave Ethiopia because to get a better education, because all the best universities will be in Ethiopia, so that others will come to attend our universities, because our universities are based on the principle of serving others. And that's why, my friends, I keep making children perpetual all day long. Thank you so much.